Book Blitz, welcome back to Twilight, Chapter 16, Carlisle. Last time we talked a lot about Carlisle's origin story, so we're not going to go out too much into detail about that here, but basically a lot of the first chunk of this chapter is the rest of Carlisle's story, where Edward is explaining how Carlisle, after he became a vampire, was so miserable that he tried to kill himself over and over, and he just couldn't. And then he discovered that he could basically be a vampire vegan by eating animals instead of humans. Then he basically spent the next 200 years figuring out how to become immune to human blood, which allows him to be a doctor, and so that he can do his job, be a surgeon, and do what he's passionate about, which is helping people, which I guess is a translation of his superpower of compassion.
I think so.
Which makes sense what you said.
That's the whole reason he's able to just not kill people. Like, he likes them, he cares. He's willing to spend an eternity benefiting all of mankind.
Well,
what a nice guy.
And so we also find out that in Italy, which you mentioned this a couple times last time, but in Italy there is a trio of vampires who basically, we don't really know a lot about them right now, but we do know that they're very important, and we do know that Carlisle used to be their fourth member. And then over time, Carlisle had a desire for a family, and he eventually kind of found everybody. He found Edward and Esme and everybody else.
Well, he made them.
He found them in circumstances that would have meant their death, and so he saved them by making them vampires from death, while also reducing his loneliness by having more people to be with him, I guess. But he, long story short, all this came about because of Carlisle, and because of his will to be better than a monster. So then Edward takes Bella to his room. And they kind of hang out in there. He has a huge CD collection, he's got all this great stuff. And then they kind of roughhouse a little bit, just kind of messing around. And then Jasper and Alice come in and tell Edward that there's a storm coming, so they're going to go play baseball. Bella's confused about that, but Edward explains that they want to play baseball, and the only time to play baseball is when it's thunderstorming, and we'll find out why in the next chapter. But you said last time you wanted to talk about this chunk of the stories. I'm gonna give it to you because
my main thing is the roughhousing that you mentioned. First off, that just, I don't know about you, but it was dumb. I mean, to me it was dumb. To me it was just absolutely bizarre and just what the hell, because in my version, it's Bo's just oh, you would never scare me, and then and Edith is oh really, and then she opens her mouth to its full extent, which basically for I think what the description basically says almost makes her whole bottom part of her face just a mouth, and then crouches and then jumps on, and she growls and then jumps on Bo, and it just, things are happening really goddamn fast in this goddamn story. Literally just 2 chapters ago, it's to make out with Bo, or to even that happen is too much, near just absolute, murder, and then now Edith has enough self-control to literally pretend to hunt Bo and jump on him,
and not just get overtaken by her instincts.
Yeah, you know what I mean? This doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make no sense. This doesn't make any sense.
Well, the whole thing was that supposedly all those so the excuse is that, well, they spent a lot of time with their faces pressed against each other, and that solved the problem. so that now from then on it'd be way easier.
Oh, that's true. Like because my version
But
they
really,
cuddle like one good cuddle sesh.
one good
Yeah, I'm
cuddle
good.
sesh. That's the name of your dating book. One
One
good cuddle
good
sesh.
cuddle sesh, dude.
But oh my gosh, like no freaking really though.
That'd be a
Like
great album name, actually.
It's kind of crazy that is enough. That is, and no, not all the danger is gone. Blah blah blah. But basically, as far as the rest of this book is concerned, that kind of took care of it. Like, yeah, they still have to be
For
kind of
real.
careful, and it's all this stuff. But
no, basically never again. Yeah, basically, yeah, it's settled. Like everything's good forever.
anyway, but yeah, I mean, I really don't have a whole lot more to say about this chapter, honestly. Do you?
Not really.
I think we kind of exhausted all the Carlisle dialogue last time.
I was surprised. Yeah, we did exhaust all the Carlisle dialogue last time, but I was also kind of surprised at how unimportant Edith's room is. Like, how utterly insignificant it is in regards to the rest of the story. Like, other than the fake hunting that goes on in the room, and then Archie and Jessamine coming in and be like, hey, we're gonna play baseball. That's the room doesn't matter, doesn't need to exist. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
It doesn't, nothing important is about that room. Even the description of it doesn't really matter. In my version, it's just the walls are just like CDs. And so it's just like, okay, Edith has a room. Cool. I don't know. It's a big deal when they go to basically there's almost an entire chapter of Edith being in Beau's room. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like it should be a big deal that they go to Edith's room. I don't know, but
well, I think that it's good in that it does keep the pacing going, because we are kind of picking things up, getting it moving a bit faster for the finale. And the other thing is, keep in mind that, since this is being told from the human's point of view,
sure.
It would be, and because you're literally talking about a love interest who has spent a lot of time in your room without your knowledge, then everything to do with them in your room would be more significant. It'd be heightened,
Yeah.
And
but I mean,
it's not
if I was a dude and a girl invited me to her room, you know what I mean? Regardless of whatever intentions are there, even if it's just totally innocent, particularly if it's a girl that is my girlfriend, I don't know, it'd be a big deal. It would be a big deal.
Well, and then again, though, I mean, you're reading the gender bent version, so it may be. I mean, I wonder if there's a difference in how it's described. In my version, it's basically just kind of a CD place. There's just lots of CDs.
Yeah, no, exactly.
There's not a bed. There's a lot of windows.
Which also shows the how do you put it? The old school nature of the book. You know what I mean? It's just CDs are everywhere.
Oh yeah, it kind of does date it. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's definitely early 2000s,
Yeah. It cracks me up.
But yeah, I guess that's about all we got to talk about. So next time, everybody, it's time for baseball.
Baseball, my favorite.
Book Blitz.